The Dodgers are 2-8 in their last 10 games. The Angels got an 8-2 win at Philadelphia. Angels left fielder Taylor Ward had 4 RBIs. The Angels are in New York City today to start a 3-game series against the Mets. President Trump is threatening to withhold federal funding for a proposed new stadium for the NFL Washington Commanders. Trump wants the franchise to go back to its original nickname, the Redskins. Washington majority owner Josh Harris said he has no plans to do that. The Washington franchise replaced Redskins with Commanders in 2020. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we're proud to be celebrating 4 years on the air, but we know we could not have made it this far without you. We work hard every single day to curate conversations that will enlighten, encourage, and empower you. So, from all of us at KBLA Talk 1580, a big thank you for your love and support.
You don't know how much you mean to me.
And by the way, if your smartphone did not update automatically, be sure to download our brand new KBLA 1580 app. We think you'll love all the new features, including new ways to send us photos and video in real time, whenever news breaks, while we're on the air. It's a new dawn, a new day for KBLA Talk 1580, and we're glad you're on this journey with us.
You never turned away, you were right there. Thank you, thank you. Give people what they want.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we aim to foster enlightening, sustainable, restorative dialogue, and we welcome unapologetically progressive viewpoints that empower fellow citizens. We are now accepting submissions for KBLA Talk 1580 guest editorials like this one.
For the KBLA Talk 1580 guest editorial, I'm Martin Gordon, chair of the Pasadena Community Coalition. Recently, I listened to a Tavis Smiley Show conversation with James Farr. James said something that caught me off guard. Black Altadena is gone. My community is being murdered. I said murdered.
All you have to do is go to our website homepage at KBLA1580.com and click on the icon that says KBLA Guest Editorials to learn more about our editorial standards and content submission guidelines. As long as the topic aligns with our mission, we are happy to review your submission and consider it for broadcast. We can't make any promises, but we want to amplify progressive perspectives that are community-focused and solution-oriented. So, go to KBLA1580.com right now to download all the information you need about our guest editorials. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
I've been going silly for the west side. You might catch me rolling where the reps ride. Ain't no opposition, I'm the best ride. I might take my city on a test ride. You don't wanna see me on a good day. You don't wanna see me on a bad day. I was just up with some hoop dreams. Now I'm in the league. Now I'm in the league. I can stand up, but I just lay low. Smoking till I wake up. May not understand me cause it's all real. And I don't really give a y'all feel. Baby, I'm just trying to let my hair down. Baby, I'm just trying to let my hair down. Everybody's watching, I'm aware now. I can't find a reason I should care now. Baby, I'm just trying to let my
KBLA Talk 1580. So it's Mercury retrograde, and that means our Mindful Monday segment is going to start in just a moment. I had the best time last night, Miles. I'm going to gloat. That's what we're doing right now. Or you can call me. No, I'm not really gloating. I'm just, you can leave that, sir. Oh my gosh, that show.
Yeah.
That show was everything. Do you hear me?
Where's it at?
Oh my God, it was so good.
Where's it at?
I couldn't even sleep. I came home and I was listening to Sir. It was at the Hollywood Bowl. He was amazing. You know I'm a big Sir fan. I'm fangirl over here. I like all the Ferrises. I like Davion. I like D-Smoke. And of course my favorite is Sir. I'm a Sir super fan. And I've seen him other times. You know, we saw him at the TD Christmas event. He sung there. And I've seen him on stage where he would maybe just do one song or something like. But he was just amazing. Why? Guess who came out, Miles?
Ooh.
Guess who he brought out? Jill Scott.
Ooh.
She was fire.
You do like a whole set or just like a little guest?
No, she sang a little bit with him, and then he went off, and she did a song by herself.
Wow, okay.
And it was fire. She looked great. She sounded great. She uplifted the crowd, went crazy. It was packed. The Hollywood Bowl is big. It was packed.
Like a live band behind him too?
Yes.
Fire.
Oh, and you know those Ferrises, they don't play. I mean, they're musicians. He had his uncle on bass. His uncle did some like funky solo. The band sounded tight. They sounded amazing. And there's this guy, Joel Lovano, I guess he goes by on Instagram, came out, saxophone player. The duet was fire. It was just peak LA greatness.
Oh, wait, was like Sir the headliner for the bowl?
Yep.
That's fire, okay.
Yep, and it was packed. And it was just Leon Thomas and Sir. And Leon Thomas was great too. Now, I knew of his hit, like I had heard his hit, but I hadn't really listened to him that much. That man can sing. Do you hear me?
Oh, yeah.
And then he can play the guitar too. You know how some people who shall go unnamed in R&B like to hold an instrument and act like they're playing, but they're really just playing a couple chords.
Who?
Don't make me name names.
Drop a name, Dominique. It's 2025. What are you saying?
Name names. There's a lot of them. They play a couple chords and then you notice the guitar or the keyboard goes away. Not so Leon. He threw down. Oh, it was such a great show. I was really energized. You could tell by the fact that I'm wide awake, even though I hardly slept. But it made me think, Miles, the brothers are killing it right now.
We are in a renaissance stage, I think, man. All the
Lucky
stigmas
Day,
of not being
Masego and Leon. Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, all the stigmas. What were you saying?
I mean, just I keep bringing it back. We talked about like the Afrobeats movement and everything,
Yeah.
and just there's not that many people who are those full musicians. Some people are just performers. Some
Right.
people are just in the studio, but to actually hit the stage and you can play your instruments and you can sing and entertain a crowd, like that's art.
Look at Blast. There's Leon Tom, Daniel Caesar. I mean, I'm skipping so many of them. I'm thinking, and Sir of all, this crop of R&B dudes that are just killing the game right now. He's my favorite.
My favorite right now is still
this.
Anderson .Paak for me.
Oh man, he's dope too. How did I forget Anderson? Ty Dolla $ign got on stage.
Dolla $ign.
And TDE was in the house for sure. I saw Top Dog there. I saw a lot of folks. It was just LA greatness. Everybody was out. Everybody was in a good mood, and I feel like the show was nearly perfect.
Shout out to TDE's putting on worldwide right now. Kendrick's still over in Germany doing his leg of the tour, him and SZA. So
yeah, and it was interesting because this particular show was organized by Public Radio, which is now being defunded by the Trump administration, and it made me realize, because what you had sort of your educated, LA Philharmonic crowd meets your hip hop South LA crowd coexisting happily, and then everybody was in that place, and everybody was having fun.
yeah.
But it makes me wonder, when we think about cuts to public radio and television, we think about Sesame Street or the news, the great news that they do with some of the reporting, the disaster warnings and things. But there's all of these other things, cultural pieces, that are going to go missing if these cuts really persist. So, I mean, not to be a bummer, but I'm just reveling in the good part of this cultural moment.
Right, and also, yeah, you're right. I feel like even if we do lose them, though, Dominique, I would hate to see them go, of course. But that's not gonna stop us, Dominique. We still gonna be. You know, I was listening to Stevie Wonder yesterday, heading into to the studio to do some work, and jamming was playing, and we'll be jamming till the break of dawn. We're gonna keep playing through this stuff, y'all. It's gonna keep being a party and keep being music and keep being soul. Being shared and spilled all over this planet, y'all. So don't think we're gonna stop for anything. Keep jamming, y'all.
And the brothers are just killing. I mean, no shade to Jill Scott. Obviously, she's one of the greats. And I felt, so lucky to be there. But the brothers, I mean, if you are not paying attention to what's going on with R&B right now, and these brothers are just killing it. That's my workout music, even though it's like kind of slow jammy. Sometimes I have to switch over to Pac or Nipsey or whatever. But all that, that soulful singing. A lot of these brothers, Afro-pop is doing its thing, but these Black men in this country is continuing the legacy of excellence. That was a whole vibe. And 800-920-1580 if you want to weigh in. I just wanted to celebrate that. And it was great to see the whole family up on the stage. Davion was singing background, the uncle playing bass. We didn't see D Smoke. I'm not sure where he was at, but it was quite a moment, and congratulations to Sir. He was really taking it in, after having lost their mom recently, and then to have all of LA come out like that in his first time headlining the Bowl was just a really special moment, and I was happy to be there. Shout out to my girl, the Honorable Judge Songhai Armstead for snatching up great tickets and saying, "We go in." Yes. 800-920-1580. A little sunshine for your morning. I'm just trying to let my hair down, like Sir said. And of course, I welcome you in. We are going to do Mindful Monday with Saharah Ali. Get our intentions right when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
The following is a paid advertisement by Family Vacation Getaways with the purpose of soliciting sales of vacation ownership. For complete details, please visit fvgradio.com. If you want a 100% complimentary stay at a luxury resort in Cancun, airfare not included, then Family Vacation Getaways is your ticket to paradise. See website for complete details. We're giving away 5 days and 4 nights to the first 50 callers who can name an animal that lays eggs and is not a bird. An animal that lays eggs and is not a bird. Do you know it? Call now, 800-868-6431. 800-868-6431. You're also eligible for an exciting bonus vacation to Orlando, Florida for just $498. And don't worry about anything ruining your plans. We can extend your travel up to 18 months. Name an animal that lays eggs and is not a bird, and get a complimentary Cancun resort stay and an optional bonus vacation to Orlando for just $498. What are you waiting for? Call 800-868-6431. 800-868-6431 and give us your answer. The proceeding is not a contest and is a paid advertisement by Family Vacation Getaways and not sponsored by this program or its affiliates.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-729-7070. That's 1-800-729-7070. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-729-7070. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
The conversation continues right now with Dominique DiPrima on First Things First.
21, oh, life has just begun. Got a temper like a gun, pointing it at everyone. That's his game, and it helps him to get through the day. possibilities, I can see them now. It's the unbroken chains of his past by which he's bound.
It's time to set our intentions, set our self-care, and find our focus. This is Mindful Mondays with Saharah Ali on KBLA Talk 1580.
She is a yoga teacher, meditation instructor, life coach, numerologist, astrologer, sound bath expert, and sound healer. She's also my friend. And it is time for Mindful Mondays with Saharah Ali. Good morning, Saharah.
Good morning, my friend Dominique and the KBLA family. Welcome to Mindful Mondays, where we get our minds right for the week by setting positive intentions that honor our mind and body through meditation, prayer, and affirmation as we step unapologetically into our week, being on purpose with our power, faith, truth, and wisdom. Today, I'd like to unpack the celestial influence of Mercury retrograde in Leo until August 11th, giving us opportunity to pause, reflect, and let go. Mercury changes directions 3 or 4 times a year, and I know everybody is retrograde again. You know, it happens to shift our perspective, aiding deep introspection and renewal. Mercury's goal is to keep us in present time, and Leo's task is to support the actions needed to move through present time with willpower, faith, and trust. The gift of Mercury retrograde supports the expression of both sides of our brain. The right brain open, stimulating intuition, clarity, and creativity, leaving the left brain for linear thinking. Retrograde planets facilitate karmic balance, bringing light to all things in our lives, allowing us to redo, rethink, reframe, and go over old ground to face truth and retrieve our power. Mercury retrograde affects all forms of communication, so expect delays in travel and communication, and pay attention to all details. Make extra time for all tasks and exercise lots of patience. But most of all, slow down to receive divine guidance supporting major change. We have 3 weeks of intense Mercury energy aiding us to consciously reframe our thoughts and actions, manifesting what we want, not what we don't want. We have an opportunity to release what we don't want and utilize self-love and inner wisdom to celebrate our wholeness. So going forward today with our Mindful Monday meditation, let's unapologetically reframe our expectations, centering and ground ourselves to embrace the gift of Mercury retrograde for the next 3 weeks. So let's get quiet. Let's get quiet and quiet our minds and take a moment and take a breath. Tap into your inner peace. Allow yourself to take a big breath in. And as you slowly exhale, release any tension or tightness in the body. Allow yourself to be in this moment connecting to inner wisdom. And as you begin to relax, relaxing your lips, your teeth, your tongue, relax the back of your throat. And now inhale. And as you inhale and hold the breath, open your heart, open your mind, open yourself to embrace change. And now exhale and be right here, right now, connecting to your breath, connecting to inner wisdom, calling on your angels to support reframing, releasing, and letting go. Allow yourself to feel centered and grounded. Allow yourself to just breathe and align with your personal power. Allow yourself to make a promise to engage in patience, self-love, and change as we journey through this Mercury retrograde. Just breathe, centering yourself. And as you breathe, acknowledge every moment. Acknowledge every moment offers clarity, empowerment, and growth. Relax, release, let go of expectations, and open yourself to trust the Most High. Open yourself to be grounded and centered, and to connect to the wholeness within you. And just focus on your breath, moving in and out of your body. And every time you exhale and inhale, let go. Let go and open your heart and mind right now, taking the biggest breath you've had all morning, holding that breath. And as you exhale, listen with an open heart. Listen to an open heart and an open mind for our Mindful Monday affirmation for the week. Our Mindful Monday affirmation this week: today I unapologetically embrace my wholeness, ready to review, revise, and renew all aspects of my life. Breathe, relax, and listen, and feel it. Today I unapologetically embrace my wholeness, ready to review, revise, and renew all aspects of my life. Sit with that. Sit with opening the space to renew, to review, and to revise all aspects of your life. We're in a dynamic time of healing and change, and as Mal said, a renaissance space. So open yourself to the change within you. Take a deep breath. Feel your feet on the floor. Feel yourself grounded and centered. And slowly bring yourself to present time. And reflect on our Mindful Monday affirmation. Today I unapologetically embrace my wholeness, ready to review, revise, and renew all aspects of my life. Thank you, Dominique, Tavis Smiley, Miles, and 1580 KBLA family, and bringing yourself back to present time. Have an unapologetic, mindfully blessed week, embracing wholeness, ready to review, revive, and renew all aspects of your life.
Review, revise, and renew. You'll be proud of me, I think, Saharah Ali. I embraced the Mercury retrograde in energy this weekend and cleaned out some drawers that needed to be cleaned out and organized. I just went crazy, just purging stuff that I never use. And I thought, wow, I must be in the flow.
Yes, you are. And the thing is that we have 5 planets retrograde this Sunday.
Oh, boy.
This summer. All summer. We have Pluto in Aquarius, and it's been there since May. It'll be there until October, and it's testing the process of facilitating change towards the evolution of collective consciousness. We have Neptune in Aries from July 4th to October 22nd, and it's known as the divine discontent, challenging us to fulfill our dreams and to aspire for more and to redefine what our beliefs are. And it's bringing reality to the lies we tell ourselves. And then we have Saturn in Aries, July 13th to September 1st, moving to Pisces in November, which is a whole big shebang-a-bang. And then we have Saturn retrograde pushing us to resist authority, giving power to trust, the love of self, and bucking the system. And then we also, here we have Uranus in Gemini, September 6th, which is coming to November 7th, and it's going to go back to Taurus. So we're going to review some stuff we did earlier in the year. But all these, it's moving at a slow pace, but it's bringing breakthrough, and it's allowing us to take baby steps to break things up. And just one of the big things for you is Uranus in Gemini, and it's asking all of us to take ownership as to own, like, as we think, so shall it be. And it's activating the power of our word and allowing us to really look at what we want and releasing what we don't want.
You know, I did actually stream Pastor Reverend Beckwith this Sunday, the Agape Church service, and he said a lot of great things, but one of the things he said, he was quoting someone, I can't think he said who it was. He said, mediocrity is self-inflicted and genius is self-endowed, self-bestowed. And then he added, I'm living the fullness of my potential. So rather than living just what can I get, how can I come up, it's focusing what gift do I have to offer the universe and how do I bring it forth.
Yes, it's time for us to be on purpose. And the key word is transformation. And transformation is happening so that we can manifest the unconscious into consciousness and be kind to ourselves and mindfully trust the unfold of our highest good under grace and ease. It's time to let go and make space for real fulfillment, not a temporary Band-Aid on our lives. It's time to level up. As you know, that's my word. Level up, level up.
No quick fixes. That sounds like you're saying no quick fixes.
Own your power. You know, like you said, mediocrity is is unnecessary at this time. We have all these celestial influences saying go big or go home, and literally, but it's moving at a pace where we can implement change without suffering, without drama. And if we use discernment and witness, because I like to put it this way, when there's a lot of political or a lot of chaos in the world, all the ancestors and angels are lined up. And they are lined up to protect us, to keep us safe, and to quell some of the madness that we have no control over, but to keep us in emotional management and emotional discernment. So with all this powerful energy, and especially, we walk the streets. We came together as a people. We have a voice, one voice saying we need change, and we are willing to be in the throes of being responsible for that change. With all of that, it's time to place your order to the universe. Ask for what you want, not what you don't want, and give yourself permission to have the strength to step through the reality of manifesting it. You are in charge of your destiny. Change your mind, change your life.
Change your mind, change your life. And of course, one of the things you always say is focus on what we want, not what we don't want, which is always one of my mantras. I said we're going to start every day reminding ourselves to be courageous, and that's fear is the way forward in this moment. But part of that is focusing on what we want, right?
Yes, and understanding what we want is attainable. I have several clients in transitions making some major decisions, and one of them, got prayed up, made the major decisions, the opportunity came, and then called me crying. I was like, why are you crying? Well, I don't know if I did the right thing. I said, did you pray on it? And they said, yes. I said, do you trust that God answered your prayers? Yeah, I got everything I want. I said, so why are you crying? Why are you crying and afraid of what you've already done? You've already lived through the hard part. Stand in the celebration of the wholeness of a dream fulfilled, not a dream that was deferred, because it was not deferred in any kind of way. You said a prayer, God answered it, and you don't believe God answered your prayer. You stand and you're about to walk through it, but I'm afraid to walk through it. I'm like, well, why'd you say the prayer? Don't answer what you don't want.
SaharahAli.com is where you can find all her stuff. She does sound baths. She does all kinds of yoga classes and things. Meanwhile, if you like a reading or some life coaching or a sound bath or some sound healing, all of which are recommended, by the way, you can call Saharah's assistant, Elise, at 213-628-9783, 213-628-9783. Thank you so much, Saharah Ali, for not just our Mindful Monday affirmation, but for all the good energy, good counsel, great yoga, excellent meditation that you bring into the world every single day. You are so loved and appreciated.
Oh, I'm going to make me cry. I will be at Cielo's restaurant in South Pass with the Baker Boys next Sunday. I was there this Sunday. It's such a beautiful thing. They're spinning, and I was doing readings and so on. The food is really good. It's Cielo restaurant in San Marino, and it's a really nice family gathering. Kids were there, dogs were there, people were there of all color. It was wonderful. And then I have a sound bath at Yoga House on the 26th. Don't be late because they close the doors, So get there early.
And what time?
And thank you, Jen.
Okay. Yeah, we got to go because we got news, traffic, and sports right here. But I'll get the info and give it when we come forward. KBLA, Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 is an intervention. When we come forward, includes you. KBLA Talk 1580, turning pain into power.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Congressman Kevin Kiley is blasting California for risking federal funds by allowing transgender athletes in girls' sports.
Just in order to continue to violate the civil rights laws of this country and to insist on a policy that even Governor Gavin Newsom has said is deeply unfair.
He supports the Trump administration's lawsuit, calling it a civil rights issue under Title IX, and vows oversight. A federal appeals court says Arkansas can enforce its ban on critical race theory in classrooms. The judges ruled students can't use the First Amendment Senate to demand specific curriculum. And former Missouri Congressman William Clay Sr. has passed at 94. A civil rights leader and the state's first black congressman, Clay served over 30 years in the House and co-founded the Congressional Black Caucus. He was succeeded by his son William Jr., who held the seat for 2 decades. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Compassion sponsorship means food, healthcare, education, and more for a child in poverty. And there are thousands of kids who've been waiting over a year and their wait. Sponsor a child with compassion today. Text the word radio to 83393.
Is this the time? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Dodgers are off to a very bad start in the second half of the season. They were swept at home by Milwaukee. The Dodgers lost 6-5 on Sunday. Mookie Betts had a chance to change the outcome in the bottom of the ninth. Betts came up with the bases loaded and 2 outs, but flied out to center field to end the game. The Dodgers are 2-8 in their last 10 games. The Angels got an 8-2 win at Philadelphia. Angels left fielder Taylor Ward had 4 RBIs. The Angels are in New York City today to start a 3-game series against the Mets. President Trump is threatening to withhold federal funding for a proposed new stadium for the NFL Washington Commanders. Trump wants the franchise to go back to its original nickname, the Redskins. Washington majority owner Josh Harris said he has no plans to do that. The Washington franchise replaced Redskins with Commanders in 2020. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
All I need is one mic.
With the KBLA Talk 1580 guest editorial, I'm Martin Gordon, chair of the Pasadena Community Coalition. Recently, I listened to a Tavis Smiley Show conversation with James Farr. At one point, James said something that caught me off guard. Not because it wasn't true, but because it is. Black Altadena is gone. I know it may seem stupid and non-productive, but I stopped in that moment listening to Tavis and James. I broke down and cried. In the back of my mind, I told myself we can bring it back like it was. But James Farr's reality check hit me like a ton of bricks. My community is being murdered. I said murdered, not by the Altadena Eaton Canyon fire, but by the people we elect to protect us, and by greedy and gatekeeping nonprofits who cannot see the forest for the trees. For the first time since the fire, I truly feel and understand my wife's inconsolable pain. Because I'm struggling to find a path to recovery and at least some form of normalcy. My community is crumbling right in front of my face. Lack of funding to rebuild is slowly destroying us. Many of us can no longer hold out, and developers are gobbling up our property. When I hear voices like Tavis Smiley and James Farr speak truth to power on KBLA Talk 1580, it reminds me that we're not crazy, just unheard. Make no mistake here, KBLA delegation, this is war, and we the people of Black Altadena are losing. It's like waiting for reparation. Not gonna happen, brother. In this new orange man world, no one, no entity is persuaded by right or wrong. There is no consequence for doing the wrong thing, and no accolades or support for doing the right thing. Will war-torn Black Altadena survive? Your guess is as good as mine. But what have I got to lose? I'm in my 70s and don't have time to wait. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. once suggested that riots break out when people have no hope. But there's nothing left to burn down in Altadena. I wish I could say I remain hopeful that my beloved community will rise again like a phoenix from the ashes. I wish I could. With a KBLA Talk 1580 guest editorial, I'm Martin Gordon, chair of the Pasadena Community Coalition. Pasadena Community Coalition at gmail.com. Reach out to me. As always, we welcome your feedback.
Broadcasting live from Leimert Park, USA. Welcome back to your home for unapologetically progressive radio, KBLA Talk 1580.
Yeah, welcome back. Indeed, it's about to be on up in here. Dr. Rosie Milligan is joining me for Messy Monday. What does that mean? We're going to be talking about relationships and everything that goes along with it. And you know, she is she is the poster woman for unapologetic. So that should be quite a lively conversation, especially given what we saw, what captivated America over the weekend, which is a cheating CEO in a kiss cam at a Coldplay concert. Wow. Yeah, I do have a few things to say about that. But anyway, I wanted to let you know the Cielos restaurant, it's Cielos, it's Spanish. Cielo means sky, heaven. Cielos restaurant in South Pasadena is from noon to 3. Saharah Ali is going to be there hanging out, doing some readings, and they're having food and the Baker Boys. So I guess people were dancing. Sounds like fun. Maybe I'll go. Anyway, that's next weekend. And then 7/26, there's a sound bath at Yoga House. Got to get there at 5:30 at State and Fair Oaks. You have to be on time, otherwise they won't let you in. So I just wanted to make sure you had that info. And of course, if you want an appointment with Saharah Ali, 628-9783, 213-628-9783, you can make an appointment. So yeah, I mean, everyone was talking about how this tech CEO, this CEO of this company called Astronomer, was caught on the, I guess you call it Coldplay kiss cam, holding someone that wasn't his wife, holding her from around the back. And everyone's talking about how it's bringing America together because folks are imitating them cheating, and there's all these funny memes, and people on kiss cams at games are trying to imitate them and cover their face and duck. And it really is kind of cute. It's cute that people are having fun with it. It's not cute for him. He had to resign from his job, and they're going to be memes for the rest of their life. But one of the things that I thought about that I hadn't heard anyone mention is that aside from, okay, it's going to hurt their families, their kids, you know, she's in HR, which means she's probably never going to work again. You're the head of HR and you're out here violating HR policies. But what I noticed is that this is a perfect illustration of mis and disinformation, because when this happened, somebody put out a letter that was supposed to be from the CEO, which sounded terrible. I mean, it sounded like he was an idiot. And everyone was talking about what an idiot he is. Well, it turns out a satire site wrote that letter. He never even wrote it. And we all assumed that it was him. Then there was a picture going around, people saying, this is his wife and this is the woman he's cheating with. And the picture of the wife was this, gorgeous woman. Turns out not to be his wife. I mean, his wife is beautiful, but this was just some stock photo that someone took of a woman and kids. And people just go with it. They don't fact check it. That wasn't her. The company had to put out a statement when they were talking about how he doesn't meet their standards or whatever. Company put out a statement that saying the CEO never wrote a letter and that there was no other person from the company there. I guess there was a woman sitting by the side. Well, I saw her actually red-faced, and everyone was saying she was another person that worked for the company, and apparently not. So for me, it was funny. It was funny because they were so stupid. If they would have played it off, no one would have noticed. It was funny because they looked crazy. It was funny because they were so dumb. Oh, I'm creeping. Let me take my side piece to a Coldplay concert. Everybody goes to see Coldplay. Old people, young people, white people, black people. Okay, Miles, don't make that face. I don't go see them either. But the point is, anyone could go see Coldplay. And that's where you could run into anyone.
I mean, look, okay. I'm just playing. I don't know this whole situation, but if I'm a CEO, I got my own suite or something. That's not a bad. If you're gonna go cheat with somebody, that's a good place to go. Go to a concert, be ducked off in your suite. You would never in a million years.
There's 60,000 people there.
You're two people out of 60,000. You would never think you guys are gonna end up on the jumbotron. That's crazy.
Not that I'm the counselor for side pieces and cheaters, but no. There's 60,000 people. Even if you weren't on the jumbotron, you're just walking along. The odds that you're going to run into someone that either one of you know, go to
Look,
motel.
Dominique, they may have had their own little private entrance exit. He may have a limo. I don't know if they have limos anymore. Maybe an Uber Black or a Sprinter van picking him and his people up.
Yeah, well, he's out of a job now.
Lost that.
And then people were getting mad at Chris Martin from Coldplay, which to me is stupid. He was just, being spontaneous. He was on stage. It's not his job to protect their backs.
Doing crowd work.
Right. I actually saw him at an event honoring Jessica Sarowitz, the owner of Stalker Street. She was one of the honorees at the Sierra Club Awards. And he was there, and he was hilarious. I never knew he was so cool. He was funny, and they were honoring Jane Goodall, who did the work with the Gorillaz, and he was hilarious. He wrote a whole song for her. I never knew he was a comedian as well as a rock star. So apparently his fans do. Anyway, I digress. We may talk about that a little bit in Messy Monday. But for me, because I'm always talking about media literacy and knowing your source and double check, triple check. Officially, you're supposed to have 3 sources. Right, Amila? 3 sources to verify a story. You don't just go off. If you see something that Will Smith died again on the internet, you just don't go and report that. You got to go and fact check. If 3 sources, so I'll go with 2 sometimes if one of the 2 is big. Like if it's CNN or the New York Times, I might be okay with 2 sources. But not no one Instagram post and now you think that's his wife or you think he wrote that letter. And a lot of people, including news organizations, reported that he wrote that letter. So for me, it's just even though it's funny and I'm really enjoying the memes and stuff. Marlon Wayans is a fool. He posted one that I had to put on my story on Instagram. But even though I'm enjoying that, I think it's just a good little reminder about media literacy because right now everything's AI. There's so many things that are being posted on socials of people saying things that aren't really them saying it because it was an AI. And I just want us to learn from this kind of moment of levity that you still have to be mindful about what's true and what's not.
Even when you get caught cheating.
Or even when you catch someone else or you get caught up in a story. I mean, I have never seen so many memes so fast in my life.
Been working the last couple of days, man.
The internet is undefeated, and it really is funny. I mean, these people have me rolling, but I was thinking, okay, so that turned out not to be true, and that's not really his wife, and let me get back to fact checking.
Ain't nothing like it blowing up in your face that big, though, man.
Yeah. That's karma.
Karma.
Yeah, that's karma. And I'm messy. Well, it's
Messy Monday.
It's Messy Monday. And how you going out with your man, your as a side piece or anybody looking that tore up? I'm going to go to a Coldplay concert, but I'm not going to get my hair did nor put on even lipstick? What? I'm sorry. That's messy, but that's real. Like, what? I'm going to go creep. I guess she thought she had him on lock. I'm going to go out here looking tore up.
Ooh. You got that one. I didn't look that deep into it because I saw, older white woman. I'm not even attracted to that type of look. So I didn't even break it down that much, but wow. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm just talking about human behavior.
Wow.
Let's shrink their ages. He's an older white guy. She's an older white woman. Let's make them young and black.
You'll look decent at least. You gonna step out, yeah.
Side piece going out like with roots showing, not even ashy lips, like it all bad. Okay, I can't wait to see Rosie Milligan. I'm sure she'll have a thing or two to say about a thing or two because last time she was here, she told us to quit shacking up and get married. That one went a little bit viral. Quit shacking up. I can't do it like she does it. But there's a lot of stuff going on in the world. But I know people, that's one of the reasons why it went so viral, because people need something to talk about that doesn't feel like Armageddon. President Trump was bragging about Stephen Colbert getting fired. He says, I absolutely love that Colbert got fired. His talent was even less than his ratings. By the way, his ratings are actually really good. He said, I hear Jimmy Kimmel is next. Has even less talent than Colbert. And I said on Friday, I said they did that to appease Trump. They probably threw it in as an unofficial part of the $16 million check they wrote to him. And so now what is he calling for? Jimmy Kimmel. That's crazy. And then he said that the Fox guy is the best, of course. Well, you know what? Maybe you should hire him for, I don't know, Health and Human Services or something. 800-920-1580 if you want to weigh in on this or any of the other 12 kinds of crazy that are going on in the world. Or maybe you have something inspiring, something courageous, something amazing that you want to share. I'd love to hear that too. 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. I'm Dominique DiPrima for KBLA, Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
During this time, it's important for everyone to know your rights. The 4th, 5th, and 6th Amendments in the U.S. Constitution protects every one of us, regardless of immigration status. The 4th Amendment requires a judicial warrant to search your home. The 5th protects your right to remain silent. And the 6th gives you the right to an attorney. Just remember,
No warrant, no key. My privacy. You don't have to speak. No lawyer inside. Don't say a thing. Yeah, we all got rights.
Hey, we all got rights.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, I'm Zoe Williams, a.k.a. the Voice of Reason, encouraging you to join me weekdays from 7 to 9 p.m. for the world's most intriguing relationship radio roundtable. Every night, I facilitate and encourage our loyal listeners to participate in the most engaging relationship discussions you'll hear anywhere. So make it a point to rendezvous with me, Zoe Williams, the Voice of Reason, Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Trust me, your relationships will never be the same. The VOR is on fire tonight.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. LA County's new Justice Care and Opportunities Department, or JCOD, is here to support justice-involved individuals and their families. The JCOD Support Center is now taking calls at 1-833-LACJCOD. That's 1-833-522-5263. Available 7 days a week from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m., the Support Center is your one-stop shop for re-entry issues and court support. They offer court reminders, connections to local services, transportation assistance for housing, court appearances, and childcare. The JCOD hotline provides personalized help to connect you with services that you need. And don't forget to check out justiceconnect.org for more information. Remember, it's free and available every day at 1-833-522-5263. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Lena Bloom for the Bail Project. Imagine you're stuck in a jail cell and you can't afford bail and someone offers you a way out. Just plead guilty and you can go home and kiss your kids goodnight. What do? What thousands have. You plead guilty whether you are or not. Cash bail makes poverty a crime. That's why the Bail Project helps those who can't afford it while fighting to end cash bail. Because freedom should be free. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where hate meets a scholarly match.
It does. Miles reminded me that, the president is suing the Wall Street Journal. That's right. So he'll collect a check from them. He'll probably get 10, 15, 20 million from them. It's like somebody called it the mafioso presidency. Everyone has to pay a tithe. Everyone's getting taxed. And these media organizations, they rather keep their access to the White House. They'll sacrifice a Stephen Colbert, a Joy Reid, 10, 15, 20 million, a 60 Minutes producer, whatever they got to sacrifice. They're playing the game now. Everybody's kissing the ring and paying up for the quote-unquote presidential library. What's the presidential library like for a guy that doesn't read? I'm just asking. And speaking of AI, the president posted on his Lies social an AI showing President Obama getting arrested in the Oval Office. And it's kind of like a follow-up to, remember, he was always saying he had done election fraud, and now his Director of National Intelligence, speaking of people who aren't qualified, Tulsi Gabbard, said that she claims that Barack Obama tried to delegitimize Trump's election, which is hilarious. It's do as I say, I know you are, but what am I? Or I don't know, whatever you call it. Whatever Trump does, when he always accuses people of doing what he did. So now the president has said, yeah, that's not a bad idea. And now he's posting videos, which some of his base will believe are real, or maybe they'll think it's a preview of coming attractions. That is so unethical, terrible, especially given how racist his base is. But just in general, presidents posting fake videos of other presidents getting arrested. What is happening right now? Let's go to Dee calling us from Long Beach. Good morning, Dee.
Good morning, Dominique. How are you?
I'm blessed. What's on your mind?
I want to clarify something I said about benevolent dictators.
Okay.
Benevolent dictators is an oxymoron reference to Dictator General Augusto Pinochet of Chile, who privatized retirement, tortured and jailed his political opponents. They hail from the University of Chicago, which is arguably the world's most sought-after economics degree. UCLA's nickname is Chicago West. Their view is that the government creates regulation that creates policy winners and losers that distort markets. Now, I would counter that if you want to dismantle a system, we first need to understand the intellectual arsenal or underpinnings of that social and or fiscal conservatism. That system or idea would be classical economics, whose mantra is supply and demand, minimize inputs, maximize outputs, which is free labor. It is the opposite of market failure, externalities, imperfect competition, duopoly, oligopoly, monopoly, monotony, and rent-seeking, economic rent-seeking behaviors, like $4.24 for a Snickers bar. I'll conclude with this. Technology will destroy so many jobs that a universal basic income, which is called general assistance in Northern California and general relief in Southern California, is virtually assured.
Okay, I'm confused about Chicago West. I thought that was Kim Kardashian and Kanye's daughter.
That's the nickname for UCLA's Department of Economics, Chicago West, because they strive to compete with Chicago.
Okay. So you weren't talking about Ye's daughter?
No, ma'am. I don't even know who she is.
Her actual name is Chicago West.
Ah, okay. Well, I think UCLA has been around a lot longer.
Okay. Sorry, go ahead. I hadn't heard that.
No, that's it. That's it. The stomping grounds of Chicago, University of Chicago, is Nobel laureate Milton Friedman. He's the father of helicopter money.
Yeah.
He's the father of helicopter money.
I mean, and a lot more than that. When you talk about conservative, so-called free market economics. Yeah, okay. Well, I hadn't heard that. I heard, that I know about their sort of free market bent, but I hadn't heard the Chicago West thing outside of, the tabloids, shall we say. But I always appreciate your clarifying the way that you're tapped in, on economics, because a lot of times we don't talk enough about it. And right now, as Link is pointing out to me in the DMs, there is so much distraction in the air. I think the kiss cam was a welcome distraction. We needed a little laugh, but I'm talking about things like Trump saying, "Oh, we should change the name of the Washington Commanders." Nobody cares. Shut up. Why aren't egg prices going down? Nobody cares. Why are you spending all this money on war? You said you were going to stop spending money on war. Change the name of the football team. Shut up. Nobody cares. Why are we going to have $200 million in cuts to LA County's public health system alone next year, which means we could see more diseases spreading. And if you think that only applies to the low-income people and not you, your kid goes to school with some low-income kid who could get the measles or the whooping cough or who knows what. This impacts everybody. No, we should be worried about the Washington Commanders or whether Stephen Colbert got fired, which is concerning, but what is he distracting us from? And definitely the economy is part of that, because that is not the success story they want to tell, and it's not what he bragged on. So he's suing California because it's our fault that eggs are high, while disrupting supply chains, while deporting workers who make our produce and meats less expensive, and et cetera, et cetera. No, worry about the Washington Commanders. And I think you're right to refocus us on the economy, as you often do. No, don't pay attention to how the Trump administration will be in court today against Harvard as they try to cut all of this funding to the university. Again, medical research that helps people live, creates new medications that take on some of the more scary epidemics and problems like cancer research. Well, they're having their showdown in court today. That's just one of the things we are being asked not to think about. And of course, Epstein. New York Times seems to think the Jeffrey Epstein situation has been tamped down, that President Trump has successfully distracted the MAGA crowd from the Epstein case by sort of focusing on the media and suing Rupert Murdoch and whatever other smoke and mirrors he's been doing, suggesting they were going to release grand jury files, which they're not allowed to do. But the New York Times seems to think they have been appeased. I don't think so. I think this is going to continue, even though we saw people, MAGA, stepping up to defend the president. I don't think it's going away that quick. From what I see on X, from what I see on socials, even Instagram, it's not going away that quick. They're in a frenzy of releasing pictures and memes and analysis of all of the president's sexual predatory behavior and all of his connections to Mr. Epstein. So I just don't see it going away that quickly. And good, because, not because it's the most important issue of all, but because he needs to have some accountability somehow, somewhere. And if that's where it is, it's a start. Oh, Dr. Rosie Milligan is here. We're about to do Messy Mondays. It's on. You're invited in. 800-920-1580. First, news, traffic, and sports. Only right here.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Congressman Kevin Kiley is blasting California for risking federal funds by allowing transgender athletes in girls' sports.
Just in order to continue to violate the civil rights laws of this country and to insist on a policy that even Governor Gavin Newsom has said is deeply unfair.
He supports the Trump administration's lawsuit, calling it a civil rights issue under Title IX, and vows oversight. A federal appeals court says Arkansas can enforce its ban on critical race theory in classrooms. The judges ruled students can't use the First Amendment to demand specific curriculum. And former Missouri Congressman William Clay Sr. has passed at 94. A civil rights leader and the state's first black congressman, Clay served over 30 years in the House and co-founded the Congressional Black Caucus. He was succeeded by his son William Jr., who held the seat for 2 decades. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Compassion sponsorship means food, health care, education, and more for a child in poverty. And there are thousands of kids who've been waiting over a year. End their wait. Sponsor a child with compassion today. Text the word radio to 83393.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Dodgers are off to a very bad start in the second half of the season. They were swept at home by Milwaukee. The Dodgers lost 6-5 on Sunday. Mookie Betts had a chance to change the outcome in the bottom of the ninth. Betts came up with the bases loaded and 2 outs, but flied out to center field to end the game. The Dodgers are 2-8 in their last 10 games. The Angels got an 8-2 win at Philadelphia. Angels left fielder Taylor Ward had 4 RBIs. The Angels are in New York City today to start a 3-game series against the Mets. President Trump is threatening to withhold federal funding for a proposed new stadium for the NFL Washington Commanders. Trump wants the franchise to go back to its original nickname, the Redskins. Washington majority owner Josh Harris said he has no plans to do that. The Washington franchise replaced Redskins with Commanders in 2020. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we're proud to be celebrating 4 years on the air, but we know we could not have made it this far without you. We work hard every single day to curate conversations that will enlighten, encourage, and empower you. So, from all of us at KBLA Talk 1580, a big thank you for your love and support.
You don't know how much you mean to me.
And by the way, if your smartphone did not update automatically, be sure to download our brand new KBLA 1580 app. We think you'll love all the new features, including new ways to send us photos